Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining up. So in this particular session, I'll be discussing about how to perform a code review for one of our engineer. So let's get started. Review this code and make some. I'll put the recommendations, suggestions that I had. Okay. So primarily, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna visit each and every module and see what kind of improvements it required. Okay. Cool. So here, the very like we had apps, logs, and utils and requirements. So primarily, I'll go ahead and check what it has in app.py. Okay, and here, if you see, like a majority of the libraries got hidden. Do you see here? So which means like unused stuff actually. Maybe what might be the other chances, right? So you may be importing, let's say utils dot from utils utility, you're importing everything, right? So if I go back here. So maybe it's a circular import, meaning like it is importing other stuff also. So utility. See, that's what I mean, right? You had other stuff, other when you're making this, right? When you're making import utility star, for example, which means you're importing everything from this utility module. So which means when I go back here, the same stuff you are seeing here also in the imports. So that's where it is given. It is showing as unused import statements. Okay, that is one recommendation. You should not do a this kind of imports. Okay, so keep it in one place. For example, Dinesh, like when you are using less import star, which means that import everything from there only. Even if you remove this here, like you don't see any errors. Did you find that, Dinesh? Right. So we should start avoiding doing a circular imports. So we used to call this as circular imports, which means that you are importing, re-importing actually. So which means that you are making like a equal to 10, for example. Again a equal to 10. Okay, it does not make any sense, right? Writing importing twice. It would add code weight. So when it comes to the application development, we should start we should stop doing increasing the code weight. That's critically important. Okay, this is one recommendation. And when it comes to this, so again as usual, you have missed the like documentation string where what it does, right? So put documentation string saying you know uh, function to create a Facebook post. Got it? Yeah, cool. And also, this is a documentation string. So you should say that what kind of data you will be returning. You're returning JSON response, right? Should say here return JSON. And when it comes to the other messages, right? So you must have you are returning is again. See in the try block, you had a data here. So data, if you see, please avoid writing some, you know, avoid some hard-coded data. So this is hard-coded string. So does not required here. So all hard-coded strings should be, push it to the constant.py. For example, what is this message? GitHub link of profile management history. Okay, some information, right? For example. So what you should do is should make message. Once again, what is the message? GitHub link or Git message. You can keep like this. Okay. Should use here C dot. You're importing C. You're not importing C, right? So how you're importing? We go to here. const, right? Generally, when you are doing imports, see, instead of constants const, right? Import as C. You got it? You can use single name then. Got it? What I mean? So all constants. So now when I read back here, go back here. See this how. Got it, Dinesh? You got it? What it has, right? Yeah. Even this hard coded. This is fine. See, this message is fine. Link. This key names are fine. Okay. But again, there is a hard coded data. So you should not have hard coded data like this. Okay. Take it out. Go to constants. What is this? Repo link, right? You can rename it later, Dinesh, based on the understanding. Got it? So you should say that c dot repo link, and this is C. Okay. Has started Facebook post function. Okay. Yeah, makes sense anyway. And this should be fine. Anyway, hard coded one, but I'm still be okay. But if you see here, when you see this, right? So this should not be hard coded. Okay, like URL, right? URL should be come from the constants. So how this should come? Like let's say, for example, take it out. So what is this? Facebook. What is the reference, Dinesh? This name, for example, huh? Post Facebook post URL, right? Yeah. You can keep something like this. Okay. So remove this, right? And wherever if you want to keep something here, something out here, so what you can do is you can, instead of having this data, right? You can, this can be replaced. Yeah, no problem. You can still have something like this. If you keep like this, then it will become a problem, right? But the problem is with the constant. Yeah, but constants you are not. Oh, okay. Oh, these are constants only, right? Yeah, got it. So here, instead of this will be constructed. Instead of this, what you can do is you can replace. You can replace this out, because since you are constructing, um, hmm, so you cannot keep like this. Instead, see, until host.com, Dinesh. See, until this. So this is like Facebook URL, which is a Graph API, right? Graph API. Graph API equal to. So it starts from here until here. Got it? So this should be this one. Understand? And this is URI, right? This URI. The whole thing is URI, correct? You should keep host URI equal to this. You got it? Now you had two parts. One is host details, and other one is post URI. So since you have this both information, right? What you have to do is, now when you're constructing it, see, when you're constructing this here, so you should not do this. Instead, so this should be replaced with what? So this should be replaced with graph API, correct? Isn't it, Dinesh? You got it? What I mean? Graph API, graph API, and so this should be constant. You have to keep page ID, correct? And so here, from here till here, this should be replaced with what? This should be replaced with c dot URI, right? Post URI. Got it? And this is going to be constant. Dinesh, you get it? What I mean? So this way you are constructing it. Or if you don't want to use like here, so for example, if for example some maybe due to some string formatting or any other formatting, if you're let's say getting some any issues, right? So what you can do is you can remove this. Okay, you can remove this, and when you are doing this, you have to do a graph API plus. Since it is string, right? Do plus page ID plus all are strings. Okay, now you're good. Got it? What I mean? And some extra double quotes here. Wipe that out. So this way you can construct. Got it? So here this is going to be URL, right? URL equal to, correct? You should write like this, since you are keeping all the other ones, right? Like headers equal to JSON equal to. Cool. And if you want to do take the headers, c dot headers. Yeah. Get it, Dinesh? Like how this can be refactored? Hmm? Yeah. So so there should be a place around the operator generally. So that's where it is complaining. Yeah. No problem. Uh, no, you should not use. See, since we are not using formatter, right? Format specifier, so not required to use this. If you want to keep, you can use a format specifier, or better, like in general, we don't keep format specifier for URL. Okay, yeah. So this way, what we are doing, we are constructing URL equal to host plus page ID plus URI plus this. It would construct. Okay, if you want to check how, like what it is printing, you can also copy this out. Okay, before before making a call. Uh, yeah, before making a call, you should also print the URL equal to. Got it? Sometimes, right, you may have issue with let's say maybe due to the string formatting or any other formatting, this may be corrupted, for example, or it may be having some other issues, right? So we are having a hard time there. Okay, yeah. Cool. And when you are working on the project, right? So this like is valid response. What you're doing there? You're checking response equal to 200. Success response and failure response. Yeah. If it is 200, hmm, you were saying like debugging page ID mhm, and I will go back here. Yeah. If it is coming as false, for example, then if it is false, then not false, you're not doing anything here. Else, if it is true, right? If it is true, it becomes false, and then you are doing here. And Dinesh, actually, when we are working on the projects, right? So yeah, so the way you have written, this is fine, but still you can improvise this as well. So here, right? You can say, uh, so we don't do a valid response, because valid response 200, sometimes 201 we will get. Sometimes we will get mm, different different status messages also, but that's fine. Yeah, I like it. So here, but generally, like in this particular place itself we will do. But yeah, this is a good practice. Good to have stuff actually. And again, Dinesh, so what you're doing here is you're returning this response, right? You're returning to a UI. Response is like why you're returning like this? When you're see when you got success, for example, this would return some response status code, okay? And when you're returning, you should always return, JSON format. You got it? What I mean? So the data should be in JSON format. So what you should do, should say JSONify, okay, or JSON. You can use JSONify here. From Flask import JSONify, right? Since Flask is not installed, it is complaining. But if you want, you can directly use import JSON. Okay, cool. And here, when you want to convert that, let's say when you want to send the proper response back to the caller or proper response, you select JSON dumps. JSON dot dumps. So the response is response dot JSON. Okay. Anyway, this is like response dot JSON itself for JSON format, right? So again, converting one more layer is not required because the way you are getting the response right in JSON format. Get it, Dinesh? Yeah. Others, please, follow. Anyway, this code will be available after that. After review, please, test it and push it to the GitHub, Dinesh, so that everyone else can uh, go back and check the stuff there. Hmm? Yeah. And uh, so the I could see there are some missing stuff here. See, when there is a exception message, yeah, you are sending out in other file. In utility, you are saying that debug, correct? For example, if it is success, then fine. If it is failure, you are not doing you are not capturing anything, correct? You are not capturing anything. If it is failure, uh, but this is to just to give a heads up that whether the request was successful or failure. But actual handling of that exceptions or should be here. Okay, one second. So respond. You anyway, since you captured this, right? Since you captured this, uh, is valid response. Since you captured this, no meaning, doing one more kind of stuff. No, my gut feeling is that you should have exception related message here itself. You're raising exception, right? You're raising exception out here. Okay, there's exception. Oh, if not valid response, what you are raising out here? Raise false. Um, it's not sounds good. So when you're see when status code is this, you can return true, else return false. Got it? And when it is false, for example, go back here. When it is false, then say so. See, yeah, see, it would not give you the exact exception message, right? Instead, if it is false, we should only print exception message, whatever it is returning, whatever returning by the response. Okay. So how you can capture is exception or instead of raise exception. Okay. Raising exception here too bad. Say you had log, right? Log dot error. So log dot error. So what you should do, you should be using the same style, this formatting, page ID, correct? Since you are trying out for this page ID. Yeah. So page ID put message say that, yeah, page ID post Facebook Facebook post failed. Got it? What I mean? This you get it, huh? Yeah, this is how we should do. So Facebook post failed. Okay, and reason is, so if it is failed, right? So even in the response itself, you can find the you can find the key actually. So for failed post, I think yesterday Komal were trying out and he got the exception, right? Like what is the message, Komal? What is the status code? Or instead of taking status code or response message, right? We will directly put whatever response we get. Reason is, let's say, yeah, 403, right? Like there is authorization error. No problem. We don't care about it. So instead of say response.json, you got it. So you can use response.json. So that would give you a JSON style. Or sometimes the data comes in not in a JSON. But if you want to try for both, you can use the response.text. So response.text is like unique one when you want to capture during the during the exceptions. Okay, during the exceptions also, if you use text, it would work. All right, that's that one missing. And yeah, this is good. Okay, so if it is this, you are returning the JSON, right? See, if it is not this, you are directly returning this status code. Hmm. Sorry, response payload, right? What are the payload you received from the request? You are simply returning it. That makes sense. But instead, we can also modify Dinesh. Like when it is, let's say when it is this, all right? You can use other way around. Like instead of returning here, you can write one more function in the utility where success response and failure response. In the success response, you can construct the body. So I'll give you the sample. So here success response. You got it? So when you are constructing it, for success response, what you're supposed to be taking a response, comma, yeah, only response, and what you will be returning, right? You will be returning return. So here status status colon success, status is success, and message, for example, message colon response dot text. You can use text or you can use JSON. Anything is fine. Okay, comma space and status. I think these two are pretty much enough. By looking at this message and status code, we can identify. Okay, so and for failure, can have a similar one. Failure status code. Sorry, failure response. So you will take the response object, and status is fail, and message is the same message. But failure better use, for failed case, right? Sometimes, yeah, you might 99% you will get this, but if there is any other message, for example, let's say if it is some sort of string, right? You cannot use the same way. You can use text. This here also you can use text, but generally we can use both, but based on the based on the response text from the other application, so this can be changed, but uh, so my recommendation would be use JSON itself. Okay, got it. And when you're formatting, yeah, space. You got it, Dinesh? Like everyone, right? So when we are doing this, we have to be careful about using this kind of we can reuse, right? Because what are the functions, right? What are the see currently this is a creating post. I can use this success message, so written, for example. Let's say if it is success, for example, so I would say success response. You got it? Dinesh, did you get it? How I'm doing it? Hmm? If it is failed, for example, so you will raise this also written failed response code response. Did you get it? Currently, how it is handling? This is how it should. This is how it should be. Yeah. And so, see, you may be getting exception here, or sometimes, yeah. Anyway, we are handling here itself. But sometimes, if you want to handle proper way, so yeah, let's see. First of all, let us fix the exceptions, like the syntax errors. Then we will go there. Mhm. Since you have traveled this failed response is a success response, right? And handle other. So this blocks to handle other exceptions. For example, sometimes, right? So when it is doing concatenation of this string, let's say, for example, for some reason we don't have a token, meaning this become none, right? So string plus none. So which is type error says that a string and none cannot be concatenated, right? So such kind of errors, to handle it, we need to have an exceptional block. It's nice. Error, louded error, and you're saying like error, right? Say error is space error. Makes sense. And mm, and also, since you're using logs are very important, right? So when you're doing this, you also have a better logging in the uh, you know here, for example, failed response code, right? So you just had this information, right? Success and failure. Even try to capture the page ID also for, let's say, for example, let's say uh, page ID, because these logs are very important when it comes to debugging, right? So page ID. Also put some message here. Let's say log dot. So when it comes to this, right, we need to understand. See, for success, it's going to be debug, right? Debug say page ID, Facebook post. Okay, debug. But generally, like when we are running application, right? So we should run application in a information level, so that we can only see the information related data. But when it comes to failure, right? So failure failed. So that this page ID, right? So page ID we should take it from the caller here. Uh, Go back to the application. See now failure response and success response, right? We need to have one more additional parameter which is page ID. So page ID, how it is? C dot page ID, correct? For success also we had this, and now we can minimize this error also because this is already taken care in the fail response, right? So when it is coming, when it is triggering, we already doing it here. For success, for failure and all, it comes under error. It's no more debug. Okay, for failure we should use log.error, and for success we can keep it in yeah, for two ways you can keep it in debug or you can keep it in information. So both the ways fine. But when it comes to us, recommended way would be for success, right? So it should be debug. Okay, got it. And error is this. For exceptions, this is fine. And page ID ended. Anything else? Message link and okay. So one second, let me review other thing. Message URL. You are sending out this for a post. Oh, okay. No, this URL is like a sample image URL, right, Dinesh? Oh, this cannot be hard coded like this. Okay, so hold on. Yeah. So at least this looks okay to me. Uh, but I was thinking, hmm, we're using data variable message link and published message link. See, one place you're using link. You can use URL itself, Dinesh. Got it? Uh, Please make it some uniformity so that whenever we are referring link means like URL link. You can use link or you can better use URL. Okay, instead of the URL anyway we are using it here. Yeah, I think you can name anything. Let's say repo link or any other information. That's fine. Should be fine. Mm, but generally, if it is coming, if this value, for example, if data, please move it to constant, Dinesh. Okay, if you move it to constant, what we can do is we can yeah. So if you move it to constant, initially you will keep some dummy data there. I'll tell you. For example, payload. For example, right? Yeah. So I just removed there. Yeah, here. So instead of this value, have none. Have everything as none. Got it? What I mean? And this will be payload. Got it? And you had an indentation thing, so you can move it to single line also, no problem, because just three parameters. Okay, so there should be some space. Yeah, cool. Now payload, right? See how this can be reconstructed. For example, if we come back here, right? So now c dot payload, not c dot payload. Okay, c dot payload of what is this? So you need to assign these things, correct? You can assign. Uh, Let me think. Yeah, first of all, since it's a dictionary, you need to do a copy, deep copy. No, uh, how it can be done is payload. Payload equal to copy dot deep copy. Yeah, copy dot copy. That's okay. Copy dot copy of c dot payload. Okay. Now once you do a copy, okay, when it comes to dictionary, you have to do a copy dot copy. You need to copy the object. Okay, and then you should update here payload of this way. You have to update whatever you want to do. You want to update here like this. Generally we don't keep a payload inside the code, Dinesh. Okay, we will keep it in the constants. Got it? What I mean? So we should keep like this, and then we should keep updating it, whatever data we need to send. Yeah. So here message and link is a repo link published. So you need to update. Uh, what you can do is by default you can set it to since it's a boolean, right? Other one is fine, so you can keep none. But so by default published, let's say it should be in false state, and even in the program. So here published. So based on the schedule schedule things, you can keep changing it. Let's say true. Got it? Now this should be removed. Hey Dinesh, did you get it? How this can be used? Yeah, you should use this way. Hey, how about Mahesh? Mahesh, are you following? Mahesh, are you there? Things looks like he's travel. That's okay. Hey Advesh, did you get it? Advesh? Yeah. Guys, these are very important things. Like based on this based on this review, you have to keep you have to keep other stuff also, Dinesh. You got it? You have to change other functionalities, right? Did you get it? What I mean? Yeah. So this way we should do it. Once again. So you had a Facebook and Facebook post. Mm, yeah. Facebook post. When it is come, it come. See, instead of again, Dinesh, so when we are doing this, for example, so we can keep, let's say, here. So instead of writing like a c dot page ID, for example, every time, everywhere, right? Here, since it's a definition, function definition, right? So we should have a default, parameter. Say page ID. Okay, page ID is by default it has this. You got it? What I mean? So this way, what we can do is, yeah, what we can do is we can use wherever the c dot page ID, right? We can simply minimize this characters like this. You got it? Uh, C dot page ID. Yeah, this way we yeah this is a good practice because wherever page ID is there, we can directly use page ID like this because page ID variable used multiple places, right? Instead of instead of writing like C dot page ID. So since we have since we have assigned to variable, right, like page ID variable, we can directly use it. Yeah, wherever page ID is there, you can change it. If you keep it also, no problem, but this is a recommendation actually. Got it? If you keep it, still it works without any issues. Right, page receiver, various other places. Yeah, this looks good now. Cool. Yeah. Hmm. So the same way, same style, refactor for other functionalities, Dinesh. You got it? What I mean? Yeah. Uh, right. So I don't have any other recommendation for this file because, um, and also my other recommendation would be when you're doing such kind of things, right? Uh, please use, please categorize the imports. For example, uh, let's say third party, third party import, third party library imports, and local imports. Okay, so when I say third party import, right? For example, consider this requests, right? So request where you have defined. No, where did you define here? So yeah, since you have written everything here, where it is. Yeah, here. Okay. So for example, request is third party library, right? Keep it copy like this. And how about local imports? Local import statements meaning like whatever you are doing. Let's say JSON. JSON is not third party because JSON is comes along with Python. Okay, JSON, CMD, and copy all are comes along with Python. Okay, so this all are just one more is standard imports. Okay, so standard imports means like a standard libraries. For example, JSON. So this all are falls under standard imports, and whatever the libraries, whatever the functionalities that we have written, right? So that comes under local imports. For example, this, right? Now, did you get it? What I mean? Third party, whatever you install from the internet using pip command, pip space install space library name, right? Those all are comes under third party. And so next third party, the sequence will be third party, standard, and local. Okay, this way. So here standard libraries, standard library imports, which means that whatever the libraries comes along with Python. As soon as you install Python, so Python itself comes with some standard libraries which supposed to use for running up the application. Okay, so those libraries we should keep it as a separate category here. Okay, so why this is required, right? Hey, Kumar, like without this also it is working, but it would add a good maintainability. So readability and maintainability, right? So when someone referring your code or reviewing your code, right? So by looking at it itself, oh, okay, this is third-party imports. So I'll just for review also it will be very easy. So you will be saying like a request library here, and I'll immediately go and check. Oh yeah, so here's request library, good, and these all are standard library imports, so I don't have any concern with this. So my review also will be real quick because you have given all the insights about how it is happening, right? So this would help me to speed up my review process. Okay, this is very important. And one second. Yeah, this should the same should be applied for every other functionalities written here. Okay, and also, so when you're writing up something like this, okay, so you are giving start the program and whatever it is, right? You may be having this, but interestingly what it should be, right? So this should be inside, not here. For example, start the application. Let's say you will have a one more Python file. You should not run like this. You cannot run your program here. Okay. Instead, this should be happening in the other place. For example, say new Python file and name, let's say, start the application, for example. Okay. So here you'll keep your stuff here. You got it? So whatever the operations that you are doing, let's say since currently it is having some issues with the syntax or with the unresolved references because these functionalities were written in the other place in the app.py or any other utility libraries, right? So whatever the import statement should be added, right? So you have to import here. Again, as I mentioned, so when you're importing any kind of operations, so please do take care of writing a categorical imports, which would clearly distinguish between third-party standard and library imports. Got it? What I mean? Yeah, Advesh, did you get it? Yeah. So it's very easy. See, as I mentioned, right? So it's easy stuff. Uh, see, I'm not doing anything big here. Whatever, whatever whatever you have implemented, I'm just adding some or giving a heads up that hey, this is how it should be. It should not be like keeping everything in one place. Instead, we should keep the stuff in the separate category, like we are categorizing, right? So even the payload. So payload, we are doing a category, like we are keeping it in the constants, right? See, and we will copy this, and whenever it required, we will like update the values. Correct? So this is how we should do it. And in the start application, whatever the imports are missing, for example, Facebook post or like imports, let's say here from apps.constants import as C, for example, right? Or import, right? It should not be like this. Import constant as C. That's it. You're done. And what is missing? It is missed with the Facebook post. So Facebook post, when I go back here, so Facebook post is from apps directory package and inside the app.py. Okay. So if you want to import this, for example, how this can be done? So here, if you go back here from apps.app, okay, what do you want to import? You want to import Facebook post, right? This is the one. That's it. You're done. And post photo. So if I go back here, it should be somewhere a post photo. Uh, Post photo does not make any sense. Instead, you can this name Facebook post with with photo, right? Yeah, yeah, a Facebook post with photo. Okay, you can name something like this. So when you are using here the same way, keep this stuff, and instead of keeping in another line, since it is in the from the same same module, right? App module, you can keep like this. And wherever you see this Facebook photo, since we renamed the function name, just rename it. Okay, and here, make sense? This does this make sense or no? And when you're doing this, so you are giving some options. This makes sense. mm, you have given options, right? Like why Facebook post with photo? Yeah, so this has to be again. what as I mentioned. So you have to refactor the stuff. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this style, but apply to everything. That's fine. And I have created one more file to run the application because we don't generally run the application in the app.py. Instead, that word consider in the standards of applications, right? So we used to create a start application or start consumers. So some other name, we used to keep, and then we will run that file. Okay, so this should be kicked out. These two lines. Yeah. And when you want to do it, when you want to refactor, so since now you understood how this can be refactored, right? So same way this can be refactored. Yeah. When I go back here, this file log file, utils. So it is one of the one of the nice application, one of the nice module where we will keep all the reusable functionalities. Okay. Um, Anything else we missed? Mm. Yeah. Hey, Dinesh, have you also got a chance to work on Instagram, Twitter, and other applications where integration to do integration? Twitter trying, okay. Like, do you find any difficulties or is it fine? Right. hmm Yeah. So, guys, can you refactor this code with other way? Like, anyway, I'll be sharing this with everyone. So please refactor this. And there might be a number of other new concepts will be coming up. Okay. So uh, that's where completing this is critically important because you need to have like good understanding of how this can be implemented, right? So this is required stuff. Good to have stuff actually. Got it. So when you are joining to our organization, so it's important to write code like this.